without exception, the common or garden router is the most versatile power tool in the workshop. I think if you said to me, Graham, you can keep one power tool, only one, I'm going to take the rest away, then it would be the router. You can cut with it, you can profile with it, you can shape with it, you can joint with it. And as you'll see in this project, mortise and tenons, yeah, no problem. And if that's not enough of a statement to make, I'd also go as far as to say that you don't need an expensive router. The primary difference between the expensive routers and the cheaper routers that are available in the big sheds, it really boils down to the number of accessories that you can get to go with them. Yeah, there are some motor differences, but let's not get drawn into that for the minute. So if you add to your router the jigs that you need to do a specific job, you make those jigs yourself out of offcuts and scraps and MDF and ply, then you can honestly just walk away from all the overpriced expensive routers and go for something cheaper. I mean, I've got a JCB 2000 watt half-inch collet router that I bought from a company called B&Q, a big tool shed if you're not in the UK. And I paid 99 quid for it about 5 years ago, and it is still going strong, still as good as any of the high-end stuff, the Festols that you'll see me using in this project. So yeah, I'm really questioning those decisions that I made back then to spend so much money. And what if the motors don't last so long? Well, 100 quid for the JCB as opposed to 1200 quid for the big Festool. So I can buy 12. So if I get 12 months or 2 years out of the router, you've got to really start to think about which is the best value for money. Anyway, the project. So the project that you're now watching, the build video that's now in front of you, is almost entirely cut with a router. There are some bits in it that I've used either the table saw with the right angle jig or the chop saw to cut stuff to length. But pretty much everything else has been achieved with the router. When I started this project, that wasn't my intention. I didn't set myself the challenge, albeit low bar, to do everything with the router. It just happened that way. It felt like a reasonable choice and a natural choice. Yes, if you had other tools, you may have reached for them as opposed to the router. Like if you had a dado stack to go in the circular saw, which I don't, you may well have reached for that. If you had additional stands to go and support timber, long lengths of timber on your pillar drill, you may have gone for that, but I didn't. And to be honest, I didn't feel any deficit at this project being nearly 100% router. In fact, I would go as far as to say it made it really enjoyable and much, much easier. I think routers tend to get overlooked quite a bit, and to some extent maybe even a bad rep because of the price of some of them. But as I mentioned earlier, I really genuinely don't think you need the expensive routers. So anyway, continuing with the project, which is what I'm meant to be talking about, as I've not told you what it is, but the more you see in the video, I think it's going to explain what the thing is that I'm making. And I really don't want to give the game away, but what I will tell you is that this project started life as an umbrella. Or rather, it was going to be, I wasn't going to make a wooden umbrella, it was going to be an umbrella. That was the solution to the issue. But after chatting about it for a little while with my dearest mama and papa, who this is for, it came to light that it wasn't really an umbrella she was asking for, Mum was asking for. It was this. So I'm going to leave you watch the video and enjoy the noises of the tools in the workshop. So I'm finally finished cutting everything and I'm ready to screw those last pieces in place and apply the finish. And it's raining. Yucky, wet, miserable rain. So I can at least apply a coat of this finish to these pieces before I take them out. Maybe it's a good thing because they've been up quite tall, and in case you haven't noticed, I'm not a very tall person. Anyway, this product made by Baratine was recommended by Baratine for this project, and they sent it to me. Bless them. Thank you very much indeed. Saved me a bob or two. So I didn't pay for this. The instructions say, do not apply in damp conditions or if rain is imminent. Apply thinly and evenly using a brush in the direction of the wood grain. Ensure end grain is thoroughly treated along with cut and drilled areas and reseal. 2 coats minimum are required. 12 hours drying under normal conditions of 20 degrees. Allow 6 to 12 hours before coats. After my experience with roller application, I'm really quite disappointed to see that this needs a brush. But one must do what one has been told, mustn't one? Sometimes. Now this is a slightly coloured, because I've chosen golden brown, as some of the timber's got a bit of a greenish tint to it, which I want to get rid of, hopefully. Oh my lord. That's gloopy. Really didn't expect it to be that thick. Don't know why. I'm not going to go sanding all of this. It's a fairly rustic looking pergola. So let's see what we get. Don't see why I can't use a roller. I think that's going to look pretty damn good. It really does ease when you spread it out, because that looks like melted chocolate. I think I quite like that. Tough luck if I don't mind, isn't it? Thought I'd try the roller. Much quicker. So that's kind of it. That's definitely it for this video. I'm going to call this part 1 video, stage 1. So there's a couple other things that I want to do to it. I want to put a little bit of brace in at the front and a few other things just to make it feel a little bit more friendly, welcoming, comfortable inside. But I'll bring that to you at a later date. Ta-ra.